of Fox's best tools is his back air. It's his safest move by far, auto-cancelling as early as frame 15. It has good range, comes out in frame 9 and has true combos leading out of it, and it can even kill a high percentage. All of this is to say that Fox's back air is pretty damn good. Mixing up the timing on your back air and fast fall is really important when pressuring with this move. It can auto-cancel in frame 15, but the earliest Fox can hit the ground after short hopping is in frame 20. Let's quickly go over the different timings you have available to you. Rising back air obviously comes out as soon as possible, but as a result, the earliest you can hit the ground is on frame 20, and more importantly, it'll go over the heads of nearly every character in the game. Here are all the characters you can hit with a rising back air. A falling back air is one that you input towards the top of your jump so that you land 15 frames later with no fast fall. Against some of the taller characters in this category, you can back air a little bit earlier and then fast fall. Falling back airs will hit the majority of the cast, and while being the slowest, it's still very difficult to react to if you mix this up with like an empty hop turnaround grab and things like that. This is the type of back air you'll most commonly use. Here are all the characters you can hit with a falling back air. Some characters can technically be hit in ways that I haven't noted. For example, it's still possible to hit DK with rising back air. However, this is inconsistent and your opponent will change hurtbox size when they dash or attack, so I'd advise just sticking to the ones I've noted. Of course, remember your short opponent may still jump into a rising back air and things like that. The combos I'm going to be talking about are all going to assume you auto-cancel the back air. Landing back air has way less follow-ups unless you happen to frame sync it, which is a topic for another time if ever. At 0% you have a few options depending on your opponent's character. Against these characters with fast attacks, you'll want to simply do back air to turn around grab. Against these characters with no combo breakers, you'll want to do back air to up tilt. Up tilt can then even go into another up tilt or into turn around grab. From around 15 to 20, you mainly want to up tilt everyone but floaties. Up tilt has a property which makes it launch aerial opponents less than it does for grounded, which, while later for killing later on, is not something we want to have at this low percentage. Against floaties, go for either forward smash or down smash. You may need to perfect pivot the down smash depending on spacing. When back air starts tumbling the opponent, follow-ups change a little bit. A guy called Tonka compiled a list here of the percentage range that back air tumbles every character in the game, which is, in general, between 30 and 40%. Against everyone at this point, you're going to start going into your up air juggle combos. The main access routes for this are back air to dash attack, and back air to pivot pivot up tilt. You may need to foxtrot before your pivot pivot at higher percentage. Dash attack can also catch your opponent before they hit the ground, meaning they won't have a chance to tech. Guaranteed follow-ups off back air stop working around 60%. Back air starts killing at the ledge at around 110 with no rage. Remember that it'll kill much later from on stage, only drawing sparks against Cloud at 150 from the center of FD. The biggest benefit of back air is how much pressure it can apply to your opponent. As we've already covered, it has quite a few follow-ups at lower percentage and can force your opponent off stage or kill later on, so it's the kind of move that your opponent will probably have to respect with their shield when they see you jumping with your back towards them if they don't have time to throw out a move. The thing is that back air is incredibly good on block if auto-cancelled, meaning you can go into follow-ups and pressure even if they shield your attack. By pressuring with this move, you can condition your opponent to shield whenever you short up near with your back towards them. By conditioning that, you can then simply fast fall and turn around grab, and that kind of thing. In this manner, your back air does its job without even having to be used. Before I get into any of this actual pressure, I want to stress that it's so important to practice your movement when spacing back air. Having your back to your opponent is hard to get used to, so make sure you do in training mode. Practice all the timings of auto-cancel back air, reverse aerial rush back air, pivot back airs, and practice doing all of these out of foxtrots, landings, and so on and so forth. If you see an opponent on a platform, you should still feel comfortable getting a back air to pressure your opponent instead of going for a suboptimal option because you're not confident enough in your movement. Being able to pressure shield with auto-cancel back air is really important for keeping up your momentum, especially at the ledge where they're more likely to be scared of a potential KO and thus more likely to be shielding. When you hit a shield with back air, there are a few follow-ups we can refer to as true block strings, which basically means if your opponent tries to do anything between the back air and the follow-up, they'll get hit. One of the main follow-ups to back air on block is up tilt. If they try to grab after your back air, they'll get hit by your up tilt first and you can combo. It's critical to remember though that the up tilt itself is not safe, and your opponent may know to hold shield after your back air. However, if you expect them to hold shield, you can then turn around grab. Try to avoid getting a dash as you turn around, as Fox's dash grab is 4 frames slower than his standing grab. You can also try pivoting away after your back air to wait for their response and then reacting. Or you can forward tilt as a safer but less explosive alternative to up tilt. Try to catch onto your opponent's habits and how they respond to pressure. Back air can be really good for pressuring the ledge as well. Because its lag is so low, you can use it to cover an option to scare them into avoiding certain ledge options and then going for another, less safe ones. Also, if you land a back air here between 20 and 40, you can true combo it into a fair spike because Fox is broken. Finally, back air can be used to pressure platforms unbelievably well and is one of the many reasons Fox excels on Battlefield. If you do a short hop rising back air, you can hit opponents on all lower level platforms. Your opponent won't have time to punish you at all if they're shielding. If you expect them to continue shielding, you can simply do the same back air again. It'll start poking after 2, so they'll have to do something eventually. As rolling and spot dodging are both poor options in this scenario, your opponent is most likely going to jump after your first back air. If you read this, you should go for a full hop up air to cover, as a short hop probably won't reach if they jump. Full hop up air through platforms can lead to kill confirms between 45 and 55, 75 and 85, and kills outright from 130. If you just hit the opponent with this back air, you can true combo into a fair spike from around 25 to 55. From 60, it can hit the opponent onto the other platform to set up for a tech chase. You can also auto cancel back air while running off or dropping through a platform, which can hit characters both above and below the platform. You can add this into your pressure game if you hit your opponent's shield with a back air while they stand on a platform. You can back air their shield, then drop through a back air again. In order to drop through the platform after landing a back air, you'll have to walk very briefly before pressing down. If you find yourself stuck in shield on a platform, you can also shield drop and instantly back air without fast falling to auto cancel the move. This is pretty tricky to time, so it will take some practice. If you don't know what shield dropping is, check out my Smash Corner's video on the topic here. All the falling back air combos also apply to this as well. That was a longer, slightly more complicated video than usual. I hope I was able to describe everything in a way that made sense. If you have any questions at all, please leave them below. If you like this video, maybe go check out some of my other videos. And as always, thank you so much for your support and thank you for watching.